Hello dear student of class 8. Welcomes to DAV Moyle Public School online e-learning session of social science. I am your social science teacher Mr. Manish sir, and today we are going to learn about new topic significance of directive principles of state policy and Indian secularism. Dear student, the directive principles ensure that the state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people by securing a social order in which social, economic, and political justice is animated or informed in all institutions of life. So, this is the significance of directive principles. The directive principle ensure that the state shall strive to promote the welfare of the people by securing a social order in which a social, economic, and political justice animated informed in all institutions of life. Though the directive principles of state policy are non justiciable, these are the moral obligations on the part of the government at all levels to work for the welfare of the people. So, right to education, some directive principles, many directive principles have been implemented and they have become either legislation or fundamental rights, such as the right to education. See, right to education has become the fundamental right. According to Article 21A, National Commission for the Welfare of the Women has been established in our country. Here, the Environment Protection Act and Wildlife Protection Act have been passed. Environment Protection Act passed in 1986 and Wildlife Protection Act passed in 1972 in India. Right to work has been implemented for the rural unemployed under MNREGA, Mahatma Gandhi Rural Employment Guarantee Act. Right to work has been implemented in our country. So, this is the significance of directive principle of state policy. "42nd Amendment say that it is known as the mini constitution, an act passed by the parliament on 1976. It added three new words: socialist, secular, integrity were added in the preamble, and fundamental duties by citizens. It is added in fourth part of the constitution. Now, secularism. According to constitution, secularism, first I want to tell you the definition of the secularism. Secularism, also called secularity, and secularity is the idea of something being not religious or not connected to church or other religious organization. Other religious organization like Hinduism, like Buddhism, like Jainism. So, these are the organization which is independent of any religion in many states. Secularism in India does not mean the separation of the religion from the state. Instead, secularism in India means a state that support or participate in the neutral manner in affairs of all religious groups. So this is the Indian secularism. According to constitution, Indian secularism has two aspects. One is that every citizen of India is free to believe in and practice any religion of people's own choice. It also implies that every religious group has freedom to manage its own affairs. And the second aspect is that the state will not discriminate against any group or individual on the basis of religion. It means that our constitution observes strict impartiality towards all religions and does not propagate any religion. If we are going to think about Indian secularism, many times the government does not strictly follow the policy of non interference with the religious matters and practices. To respect the sentiments of all religions, the government sometimes makes certain exception for a particular community. The intervention of the state in religious and social practices of particular religion may be aimed at eradicating certain social evils which are stigma in the name of the present civilized society. So, this is the Indian secularism. And these things, if we are going to think about the secularism in India, so here in India there are many religions we know: Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, Islam, Christianity. These are the religions in India. But there is a state not provide importance to any religion in India. Every religions are equal. All religions are equals in our country. We follow equality. Although the state finding the religious institution is not permissible, yet the state can give financial aid on preferential basis to some of the religious communities for their welfare and upliftment. So, some special grants can be provided to them. Dear student, we have many religions, many castes, many diversities in India, but remember, we have unity. We have integrity, and we living together, we celebrating festivals together. So that is why India known as Incredible India. So I hope you understand today's topic. So here the assignment question on today's topic. You should write this question and its answer in your copy. So dear student, thank you for watching today's video. Have a nice day ahead.